Final decision, guys, for the back cap is this design here. You know, because I didn't want to jazz the back up too much. This is just right. This is going to hug the reaper blades, and it's going to overlap the bottom of the fender about that much. It'll be just enough to deflect debris. So I'm going to cut this out of aluminum with my jigsaw with a metal blade, and then we'll start the process of finishing it. Okay, got a nice amount left over to do other stuff with. Got it. Oh man, that's rough, guys. All right, I even, guys, sprung for new gloves too, man. I got new gloves. Believe it or not, this is also broken too. My trigger's broke on this. The trigger, the button that locks this in place is broke, and this is only like maybe, you know what, it's probably about 5 years old. So I guess it paid for itself. What the hell is inside here? Why is this one here not inside there? You know what I should do first before I start grinding that and finishing it? I wonder if this guy's symmetrical. Where is my my goddamn template vanished already? Well, probably. See where that magic marker is? That's got to be taken in a little bit. Because my eyes, guys, I used to set marble floors. Okay, that was my bread and butter. That's what me and my dad used to do. We used to do flooring men. we used to do dealership floors. We did a Rolls-Royce dealership floor out of marble. It took me, I did it by myself with a couple of my helpers. It took me 30 days to install a marble floor. And that's where I have my eye. I have the eye. I have a real good depth perception, and I got a real good eye where I'm able to see where the center is on stuff, and to see if things are symmetrical. But I made that with a template, with a paper template, which vanished already. So by the way, I got my fasteners. Okay, I'm going to try to take this off first. Let me pause you guys. You know, the reason why I want to take this protective film off first is because once this stuff heats up and it bonds to the aluminum, it's a son of a gun, boy, to get off. It is really tough to get off. I mean, you have to sand it to get it off. And that's just more work and more damage I have to do to this part. Because these come pretty, they're not a mirror finish, but they're smooth, you know, that's how they come. I just had my sneezes. I sneezed about, that's when my nose is watering, because I just sneezed about 10 times. Can't leave it with square edges. So now, guys, I'm going to start round, because I want these, I'm not diamond cutting this. What we're going to do is we're going to just make the edge round, and then we'll polish it. tricky part. It's formed, basically. Now, what I'm going to do before I do this anymore is I'm going to form this the way the fender is. For that, I have to find something to form it around, and I got to heat it up. That's where these come in handy. First, sip of hot chocolate. And I hope none of that aluminum dust went in my hot chocolate, but it was way over there. Guys, I made the part. Let me show you guys. I haven't finished it yet. It's not a mirror finish, but it's formed. And I'll tell you, to get this to get it like this, it's a near perfect shape without a planishing hammer is, man, I paid hell. I used a torch to heat this up. I used 2 pieces of aluminum so that my vise wouldn't mess this up. I used pieces of wood to hold this thing in place. To get this, I actually used, I went like that, while having this thing strapped on a vise, and having this sandwiched between 2 pieces of wood on the vise. I put that, that's actually one of the Hayabusa's old exhaust pipes I tucked underneath here, and then I put this over the aluminum. Now with this little hammer, I was able to pound it into the shape. That's how I got this like this. It's pure hell. And there is some, you see them little ridges there? I got to try to pound those out. That's where a planishing hammer would make short work of this. But all I have to work with is this and these and my grandpa's old vise. It's 150 years old. But what I'll do is I'll heat this up a little bit more, and I'll pound these out, and then we'll refinish with these. This is hell to pay. This is hell to make it like this. I'll tell you guys, without a planishing hammer, man, it is really tough. If I had a planishing hammer, man, I could get these parts perfect, and I could probably sell them. But I got it pretty good. We're not doing inside because that's going to be against the bike. You can barely see some ridges in there. I tried pounding them out. It's almost impossible. Now I'm going to show you how this sits on the fender. Okay, that's how I want that to sit. See how it's going to just miss the blade on that side? So of course it's going to come in a little bit more over there. And see if I can swing you guys around. I don't know if you can see up inside there. But the existing fender ends about right here. So this goes down about another 2.5, maybe 3 inches. So that's how that's going to look like. And what we're going to do, I think what I want to do is, I think I'm going to just put one bolt on this. I'll put one nut like right there. And naturally this is going to be double-sided tape down too. As you see, it contours to the fender pretty good. It's almost perfectly contoured to the fender. So yeah, we'll put one fastener right here, and they're going to all be these are show chrome. I got 25 of them, and we'll weld these on the back. If I have to, I'll grind them down. These are going to have to be cut. They are too long. I should have got 1/2 inch. So what this is going to basically do, guys, is just continue the fender, because this is a shape. This is the exact shape of the bottom of this fender. So it's going to just continue it down, but it'll look like it's a piece of chrome in the back. You know, because I made all kind of designs. I threw all kind of designs away, you know, like real fancy designs, and I thought it would just be too much. And it would take away the appearance of these blades here. So yeah, that it actually come out pretty good, you know. You can, if you look real good the way the sun hits it, you can see like one ridge here and one there. And trust me, I tried everything to pound them out. I even made a piece of wood here. You know, I heated it up. I actually got them out pretty good. You know, now if like I said, if I had a planishing hammer, that part there would be perfect. There you would see no ridges in it whatsoever. I'll tell you, it took a lot of work, guys. I started working on that when I got home this morning. I spent about 3 hours on it. And that's not to mention when I cut it. I spent 3 hours on it this morning grinding the edges, and probably about another 4 hours, because this is like, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning right now. So I spent about another 4 hours polishing it, and probably maybe a couple hours pounding it to try to get it into that shape. So about 3-7. It probably took me about 12 hours to do that by hand. You know, now I'm not spending $1,000, $500 on a planishing hammer to just make these 3-4 parts. You know, and then if you try to sell them, you know, you got to have a template of the fender of the motorcycle. You know, it's more like the only way to make money with stuff like this is you got to have a shop, and the people got to come in either with a fender or at the bike, and you take the fender off, or they give you the fender and you make a part to fit the fender. That's really the only way you can do it. You can't do it with a template. It's never going to work. You know, if you were to have a template of like a Harley fender and you sell these things online, there's always going to be differences. You know, then you're going to have these people are going to send it back. They're going to want their money back because they got to pay, you know, for a part like that. You know, for this guy right here, you know, you'd have to charge, this might be as much as $500 for something like this. If you get this off of a metalworking company, they'll charge you. This is around $500. That's what they'll charge you. Because it just takes so much time. Even with a planishing hammer, you gotta, you know, because a planishing hammer, they have all kind of different tips. But you'll be using a plastic tip that's going to round out the finished part of this, and the metal part's going to hit here. You know, and you basically gotta play with it, and then you gotta put it on the fender to make sure it fits. You know, it's and I did this all by hand with wood and a hammer, basically. I did it all with wood and a freaking hammer, guys. And it's everything by hand. I polished it with, I started out with 240. From 240 I went to 400, 400 to 800. Then I wet sanded it with 1,000. I went to 2,000. I went to 3,000, 5,000, 7,000, and I used my little Dremel tool with a 10,000 sanding disc in some of the places that I had, like some of the ridges I was actually able to take down by sanding them. And there was a couple nicks in there I took down with the Dremel tool. You know, it's tough. It really is tough by hand. It's real hard by hand. So I still got a good piece of aluminum left. I have to make that part for the Cadillac where I want my Garmin to sit when I go on vacation in September. And so I should have more than enough for that. I don't know if I'm going to make those two little parts I was telling you guys about where the axle covers are. I don't know if I'm going to even, because I have to start doing work in this house, guys. I got to start getting a couple things done around here, man. I was looking at some places down in Florida, and I think we could pull it off. I think we could do it. I think we can possibly move down to freaking Florida. So, all right, guys. Be safe.